What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another video and we are going to cover everything you need to know about ones to watch trading. If this video does help you out and you learn a little bit something about trading ones to watches, drop a like, and if you want to, subscribe if you're new here.
Just do it!
On my screen you're seeing ones to watch team 1. We did get an initial batch of them, which is the main team you see on the screen. And then we actually got these 3 additional players on Sunday. So we got Griezmann, Bailey, Delaney, which was a nice little bit of addition. This is going to be a huge team because it was a monster year for ones to watch transfers. And it's really exciting. You guys are probably wondering how you can go about trading them. I'm going to cover a few different approaches today, as well as some things you shouldn't do, because there's a lot of people who lose a lot of coins trying to trade these. If you're new to Foot, let's talk a little bit about ones to watch cards and how they function. So these cards are live cards, meaning that they can upgrade throughout the year, and that will be performance based. So this 80 rated Malin could become an 85 or 86 throughout the year. That is really enticing for people, and it's really fun because having an upgrade in the future is going to instantly add value to that card and add a lot of interest to it. It's also just fun for the community. I've personally always loved like what if cards, headliner cards, ones to watch cards, road to the final cards, because it ties us in with IRL soccer, if you guys want to call it soccer, or egg football, if you guys don't want to call it egg ball.
I love that.
So it's fun. It's fun as a community. It's fun to get hyped when a player like this scores. And one thing I will say this year too with ones to watch is they can actually get a one-time upgrade for winning 5 of 10 domestic league games. So that doesn't count like UCL or something like that, or international break. But if Dortmund win 5 out of 10 games, which they will probably, same with PSG, they'll probably win 5 in a row or something. But they're going to get an upgrade pretty quickly here. So I think that's a really cool feature, and like I said in a previous video, I think it's really cool for defenders who have a hard time scoring, and it's just really hard for defenders to get in team of the week a lot of the time. Now let's kind of talk about how the community thinks about trading them and what happened. As the Dortmund game approaches and right before kickoff, you're going to see Malin continuously and steadily rise into the game. So this is a little bit of a different example because right now he's currently in packs, and this will change once they get out of packs. But right now, let's say he's 24K. The morning of his game, he might be 28 to 29K. So a pretty nice profit if you invested early. And I'm not telling you to do that today because he's in packs. He might drop a little bit lower first, but that's the idea. So you invest in them kind of during the week or early in the week or even after a bad performance, and you hold into their next game. And it's a pretty sure way to make coins almost every week. So that is the safest route to make profit. Let's talk about the more risky approach. If you are feeling it, if you are a gambler, if you think Malin is going to have 2 goals in his next game, maybe Dortmund's playing an easy team, you hold his card into the game. And if he scores, you might see this card shoot up to like 40 to 50K. And that's just because of hype, anticipation.
The electric in the air!
That's where that card is typically going to peak for a small period of time. I do recommend cashing out in that hype. You might not time it perfectly, but taking almost like 2 times your coins on a lot of these cards, or a huge amount of profit for this budget, is definitely worthwhile, because what's going to happen is after he reaches that peak hype, he's going to slowly drop, and he's going to slowly drop after the game because too many people bought in a short period of time, and it's really, really difficult for them to sustain that value. The other question I'm probably going to get is, can you invest in him once he scores? You can, but you have to be quick. So the only way I would personally do this is if you're watching the game live. That's ideal, and you know you're not behind on a stream, because even a few minutes, you're probably changing that price by like 20 to 30%. So you have to be watching the game very live or have like a real-time tracker. And a lot of gambling sites do real-time tracking really quickly for betting. If you guys are underage, I'm not telling you to get that. I don't want to get in any trouble here, but those tend to work really well. And there are other free scoring apps. I've just found that betting apps tend to be the fastest. And if you buy him during that initial minute, and I'm talking like literally 1 minute, maybe you buy him at 27, 28K, and you can sell him at 33 to 35. There is some smaller margins in that, but you have to be extremely, extremely fast.
Faster!
So as I was saying, after he hits that peak hype after a goal, and maybe you're again feeling it and you hold till a second goal or something like that, after the game he is going to decline in price. So let's say in this example, Malin peaks at 45K. After the game, you might see him drop to like say 37, 38. So he's going to come down a little bit just because so many people rush to buy. It's so hard for that many buyers to hold up. And then what you're going to see is you're going to see another buy window after the game. If you really think he's going to get a team of the week, typically on Saturday or Sunday night, you're going to have a buy window. And the reason that happens is simply because team of the week predictions are going to start coming out on social media. Social media is going to have a big influence, and they're going to show an upgraded Malin card that looks really good, and people are going to think to themselves, oh wow, I think I should invest in the ones to watch card. But at the point they're seeing those predictions, they're already too late, and that's kind of how you can make a profit. And that's what a lot of trading is based around. You have to be faster than the crowds and the herds. If you're thinking that, so are usually thousands of other people, and then people like me are selling to you, and I'm making like 4 or 5K, and you're going to end up losing money a lot of the time holding into that. Typically, I do recommend selling them as well before they get an actual team of the week. Typically, there's a lot of hype on like Tuesday nights or even Monday nights, and you're already in pretty good profit at that time. I would just recommend taking it at that point personally. Once in a while, they do rise through the team of the week announcement and hype if they're a crazy good card or something like that, or if it was unexpected. Like if a player just had an assist, and EA does do this occasionally, like they love to boost random cards sometimes. So if a player just has a nice assist and a good game and they throw him in, that card might actually rise through the team of the week announcement because no one invested. So they would be like, wait, what? He's actually getting a team of the week? And you're going to see an increase there. But as a general rule of thumb, selling in the hype is going to be pretty good for you. Lastly, I did want to touch on one more way you can trade with these this year that's probably different than years past, and that is going to be based on the domestic wins. A card like Hakimi is a perfect example of this, right? Although he does move up the pitch a little bit more than other players, he's still probably going to have a hard time receiving a team of the week comparatively to attackers. So instead, what you can do with a card like Hakimi is if you know PSG is likely to win 5 games, or if you feel pretty confident, after his second or third win, it's going to be pretty safe for you to buy into this card and hold into it. And yes, that's a longer term hold and you'd want to be on a bigger budget, but as PSG continue to get their wins and as they get their 4th win and their 5th game approaches, you're going to see a pretty big rise in the hype as people start tracking them, as they know how many wins they're on, and as people anticipate the upgrade. So again, buying in early is the way to go on that. Buying in, I would say after the 3rd game is probably going to be pretty good. 2nd game might be a little bit early because it's still going to be a couple weeks generally, but this Hakimi card with an upgrade is going to be maybe the best right back in the game. I've heard amazing things about him, and that's kind of how I would take that approach with the domestic wins. I do like to show you guys some examples so you guys know what I'm saying is true, and I'm going to show you the effect that Dortmund's game had on Malin. So that morning, he was like 22, 23K. He started to rise in the hype all the way up to like 26, 27. And after the game, he didn't perform particularly well. He came down to like 23, and he went even lower than this. I know you could get him at like 22. Relatively easy with all the listings. And now he's recovering back up slightly. So again, selling the hype right here is really safe. If he had a good performance, you would have seen him explode, but he came down a few K afterwards. And I do expect that effect to be bigger once they're out of packs because there's continuous supply. It's going to be harder for him to have the huge movements, but there's an example of it right there. Hopefully this video helped you out and it helped you learn everything about ones to watch trading. If you liked the video, just like the video.
I like to be liked.
And feel free to subscribe if you're new here. Peace.